If you are a newbie massage therapist or a new massage therapist looking for self-care tips, how to take care of HST, taxes, and so on and so forth, then this video is for you. Hi, my name is Steph, the massage therapist, and welcome to the video 2 of my self-care series where we talk about tax, self-care, business, social media, so on and so forth. I don't know why I said self-care, but knowing these things would help you care for this and anxiety who's running a massage therapy business. So if you're ready, let's get started. So in my last video, there was someone who commented asking about self-care for new RMTs. For this video, I want to tackle about HST because I hate HST. So let's define what HST first. So for those people that are not here in Ontario, we only have HST. For other provinces, it's kind of the same. But I just want to let you know that other provinces has GST or HST. But for this one, it's basically just tax, right? I think in the US, you have something similar as well, but it's tax, something that you need to pay the government. According to Investopedia.com, the Harmonized Sales Tax is a combination of federal and provincial taxes on goods and services in 5 Canadian provinces. The HST rate is 15% in all participating provinces except Ontario, where it is 13%. Who is paying HST in Canada? Okay, who's paying that? It's basically almost everyone. Everyone has to pay GST or HST on purchases of taxable supplies, of property and services other than zero-rated supplies. However, in some situations, individuals registered under the Indian Act or Indian bans and band-empowered entities are relieved of paying the GST HST on taxable supplies. And that's from www.canada.ca. So why am I reading it from this? It's because I just don't want to say something that's wrong about HST. Everybody has to pay it. But how is this relevant to you as a massage therapist? So for example, you started your own business and you're charging $100. You have to add HST on that. So it's $100 plus HST. So in that case, how much would it be? So 100 plus 13% is 113. But now the question is, where does that $13 go? Okay, why is it 13? It's because of 13%. If it's 15%, it's 115. Okay? So, where does this $13 go? It goes to the government. It's not for you to keep. Okay? For example, if you are your own business, you do your own business, the only money you keep in that $113 is the $100. The 13% has to be remitted to the CRA or the Canada Revenue Agency. I don't even know what's, let me Google what's CRA. What's the meaning? Canada Revenue Agency. I'm a Canadian and I don't know. So what are the common mistakes that happens around HST? Number one, you use it. You just use the money. Like when you receive the money from your patient, it goes to your bank. You just don't save the HST. You just use it, thinking that's your money. That's the number one mistake. And why would I say that that's the number one mistake? Because I have paid the fees. I have been paying the fees badly. Like, I don't know if it's, I think it has interest on it, but there's a penalty, right? Because again, that 13% is not yours. It's for the government. Now, if you work in a clinic, sometimes the clinic would ask you if you have an HST number because you have to remit the HST yourself. So when I had a clinic, this is how I would do it. That let's say it's 70-30, so the massage is 100, 70% would go to me, so $70. So for that $70, if I have an HST, the clinic would give me my share of the HST, and whatever is in that, then I have to remit to the government. To be honest, my accountant deals with this and having an accountant that is very well aware of these things and is actually helping you figure this out is the best thing. I know accountants can be pricey. They can be in your advantage, especially when CRA or the government starts to ask you questions about it. So how did I solve the issue about me using the HST money even if I'm not supposed to use it? Number one, I had to start doing bookkeeping with everything, which is you should anyway, but I used QuickBooks in the beginning. Didn't work out for me. If you like that, you can use that, but Google Sheets are fine. I would compile everything that I've earned through a sales sheet from my booking software in my work, because I work on my own. If you work for somebody else, I would get the total of what my commission is and put it in an Excel sheet and then give it to my accountant, okay? And then they're gonna do the magic for that and get the HST. I wish I can be more helpful of how exactly it is submitted, but I don't want to say things that I'm not really sure of. I'm just basically explaining how I'm able to remit this through CRA. So that's what I do. What I have done to correct this is I call them and they would give you the instructions on how to pay the remaining balance, but HST is important, it's priority to them, and then they're gonna give you pay of installments. So if you're a new RMT and you've been using the HST money where you should have separated it when you had a chance but you did not, then yeah, start saving the 13%. What I do is every time I receive my paycheck or the income that I have with my home-based practice, I start to remove 13% no matter what and put it in a different bank account or a savings account. And then by the time of remittance, then I'm gonna give the payment. So that helped me pay the remaining balances on the HST. And the hardest lesson I have is I'm never gonna do that again. I'm really gonna separate. I'm never gonna touch that money again because they're gonna hound you so bad and you don't want that. So now that you know that you're not supposed to touch it, my suggestion is when you're calculating your income, only include before tax, okay? Because that before tax is your money. Everything after tax plus 13% or plus 5%, plus 15%, whatever province or country you are, depends. Mostly this is more for Canada, but you know what I'm saying? Remove it. It's not your money. Put it somewhere else. Just put it somewhere else. Don't use it. And it's a good way to track also if your business is growing or if you're actually earning. Because if you say that you are paying your bills, but then you're using HST money, it means you're not really earning. Because why are you using HST money, right? You have to separate them. Don't mix them together is what I'm trying to say. Capiche? For me, I pay every year. I call them every year and then I pay in bulk. But there are multiple ways of remitting this. You just need to go to Canada Revenue Agency or canada.ca so that they can give you an idea how to pay. But according to my accountant, ask your accountants or check the website itself. You can remit once a month, quarterly, and yearly. I did once a month, but I always forget, so I end up moving to quarterly. But then the problem is I'm also forgetting to pay quarterly. So what I've done is just yearly. And this was before I made my mistakes. So long story short, pick the right payment schedule based on your lifestyle. If you think that you can remove the 13% monthly, great. And remit it at the same time, great. If you think that once a month is a bit too much for you, then do quarterly, right? And then if quarterly is too much for you, then do 1 year. But the thing is, if you miss the date, there would be penalties. As from what I know, don't take my word for it. Please ask your accountant. I'm gonna actually ask my accountant, but I'm just sharing what I know about HST. So the next one is I'm really going over here from the Canada Revenue Agency because I don't want to give you false, words. So I'm gonna read it quote unquote for this one, okay? So in this app actually, the reason why I'm showing you this one is because I want you to see where you can get all the information you need for HST, because again, I don't want to give you like false things, but basically it's this one. I read it all the time too. This is the one that you need to go for, but I'm just gonna highlight a couple of things, right? So especially this one right here, I'm gonna highlight that for you. So There would be most businesses using the following table to find out if you're a small supplier, if you have to register for GST, HST, and when is your effective date of registration. But I'm just gonna read it for you. You can always read it on your own, but I'm gonna read it for you for the sake of this video, so that at least you're already here. Why not just read it? So if you do not exceed the 30,000 threshold for over consecutive calendar quarters, you are a small supplier. So what do you need to do? If you're a small supplier, and again, your income doesn't exceed 30,000, you do not have to register. You can choose to register voluntarily. Before, I have found an article saying that for massage therapists in Ontario, I don't know if in other provinces, it is recommended to sign up for HST because massage therapy doesn't have HST exemption like physiotherapists and other type of allied healthcare professionals. So I did sign up, and one of the clinics are asking for it. So it means it doesn't matter if you have $30,000 or below $30,000, you can voluntarily sign up for HST, or you do not have to register for HST, is what I'm trying to say. I remember in my first clinic before, they requested me to have an HST number, and that's how they're paying me, because I think I need to pay the tax or the HST, and I did. And then after that, I messed up. And right now I'm fixing it, and that's the important thing. Fix your mistakes. Okay, next. If you exceed the 30,000 threshold in a single calendar quarter, it means that you are no longer a small supplier and have to charge GST and HST on the supply that made you exceed 30,000 within the calendar quarter. So what you should do about it? You must register for GST, HST, and the effective date of your registration is no later than the day of the supply that made you exceed 30,000. You have to start charging GST and HST on the supply that you made you exceed 30,000. So for example, on January 15th of 2025, your income started to exceed $30,000. So now the best case scenario is to apply for HST. But to be honest, just ask an accountant. They would explain it better for you. And last on the chart is you exceed the 30,000 threshold over the previous 4 or fewer consecutive calendar quarters, but not in a single calendar quarter. Then what happens? It means that you are no longer a small supplier, and at the end of the month following the quarter is which you exceed $30,000. So what happens because of this? If you have to register for the GST and HST, your effective date of registration is no later than the day of the first supply you make after you are no longer a small supplier. You have to start charging GST and HST on your taxable supplies starting on your effective date of registrations. Again, these are all located in here, so you can definitely read it. I'm just reading it word for word, but for this one, I would say the gist of what I've got here is if you exceed 30,000 in a specific calendar quarterly or a specific date and time, you have to get HST. If not, you don't have to, but you can volunteer. But again, ask your accountant or call CRA directly. To summarize today's video, the main message that I can give you based on my personal experience is have a good accountant, ask them what pathway you need to take for HST, and don't worry about it because your accountant and accountant fees are a business expense. And remember, massage therapists are basically independent contractors. You are your own business, so you would need business expenses. If you do end up with HST, please do not follow the same mistake I've done and use HST money when you're really not supposed to use it because it's not yours to start with. My suggestion is get the money before tax, and whatever that tax percentage is, remove it, save it away, and then pick reasonable time when to remit. Is it monthly, quarterly, or yearly? Totally up to you. Whatever makes sense, then do it. Again, HST is a hard topic, and I'm sharing just what I know about it. and the lessons I've learned about it, it's really hard when you get penalized for these things. So I suggest do not even go there. Literally ask the right people for it. I'm going to refer you to the CRA website like I showed you, and as well your accountant. Again, if you have any questions, please comment it down below or message me on Instagram. And do not forget to like, share, comment, subscribe for more videos. And again, my name is Steph, the Massage Therapist. I hope this video is helpful. I really hope it is helpful, so you don't have to experience the same things I've experienced, because nobody really wants to experience them. And again, bye-bye.